So a little disclaimer before I start, any facts that I list off here are all subject to change since Titanfall is still in the beta. Please do not sue me if some of this information is incorrect. Also, if you want to read more about the game, head on over to the Titanfall wiki. Hey guys, today I have another Titanfall sort of like mashup of a bunch of different clips. This time, not alone, I'm with the Brown Canadian, who has recently been inactive, but what I'm calling the Call of the Fall has awoken him to produce more videos. Anyways, this will be another recorded commentary since I can't think properly when I see explosions from every possible angle. Anyways, I'm going to be sharing my first impressions of the game and a lot more info than my first info video, which wasn't very informative, as I said before. Now, for some reason, the beta, at first, didn't run incredibly well for me, but then I noticed that I actually needed a 3GB card for insane texture resolution, and I turned that down, and it seemed to be working perfectly fine for me. It used to be incredibly laggy at the beginning of the game. It just got a huge spike for no apparent reason, but yeah, my lesson for you guys is please read the tooltips that they say with the graphics settings. Other than that, the game is it's excellent. It's really fast paced. I never saw myself standing in one place even for a couple of seconds. The parkour is a very welcome addition since most FPS games neglect that aspect of the game and they just include simple jumping and vaulting. Respawn definitely knew what they were thinking while they were adding the parkour. All the guns that are at least in the beta, they all seem to have a distinct feel and play style. For instance, the Smart Pistol makes you feel better about your score. Since this is basically a company that got kicked off from a company after Modern Warfare 2, not a company but Infinity Ward, I did see a slight flavor of COD in some areas. The menu music kind of sounded like Call of Duty 4, and because the music is actually composed by Stephen Barton, at least from Wikipedia, and he is the same composer who made the music for Call of Duty 4, so that makes sense, of course. And the challenges they get, they have sort of a similar feel of completion and progression, the several tiers numbered with Roman numerals. And I noticed sort of the running kind of looked like COD 2, but at least you get infinite sprint. Anyways, less about similarities and more about features. There are these, I guess you could call them power-ups, but their official name is the burn card. The burn card, from my knowledge, grants you an advantage on the battlefield, such as increased movement speed, and there's a bunch of other stuff, but it's obtainable via meeting some kind of requirement, like killing a Titan. This type of power-up can be actually very useful thanks to how you use it. After you die, you fill in all the possible burn card slots on your level, and you can select one of the cards when, just before you respawn, and you get the special ability like an amped up gun or something. The downside to this is that it only lasts as long as you last on the battlefield, but on the upside, you don't need to plan beforehand. You don't want to think am I gonna suck this round or am I not? So that's really good, so you don't have to plan a lot. And so if you're doing good and you die, you can just select a burn card and you'll probably do even better since you're already doing good. And lastly, in this video, I want to talk about the pilots and the Titans, the two units that you can play as. As a pilot, you get 3 main loadouts and 3 custom loadouts. The main loadouts are as follow: the Rifleman, who is a balanced, generally mid-range pilot, the Assassin, who is a stealthier precision pilot, and finally the CQB, who is molded around close encounters, hence the name. I won't be listing the contents of all the loadouts, but I will be listing all the abilities, weapons, etc. Starting off with the primary weapons, the R101C Carbine, a medium to long range automatic assault rifle and is considered the workhorse of the game. It was originally named the RSPN 101, which is short for Respawn, and it has 30 rounds in a clip and medium to low recoil. Next is the EVA-8. It's a semi-auto shotgun and it can be compared to the AA-12 in real life. It has 6 rounds and a high recoil value, 6 rounds in a clip. After the shotgun is the Smart Pistol, the so-called aimbot of the game. As long as you get a fraction of a second of a head start, you'll get your opponents every single time, I can guarantee it. It has a clip size of 12 rounds and low recoil. The Spitfire LMG is an interesting weapon since it can only be obtained via a burn card. It has a clip of 80 rounds and presumably has a high recoil. The R97 Compact SMG is a weapon that is great in close quarters but is a rotten, steaming banana at long range. It has a clip size of 40 and a relatively low recoil. Next up is the Longbow DMR Sniper. What, 3 different weapon names in one? It's most likely a DMR and not a sniper, since Titanfall is a very close quarters game. It is said to have 8 rounds in a clip and medium to low recoil. The last of the primary weapons is the Krabber or whatever it's pronounced, the sniper. Currently unknown if it can be obtained anywhere other than through the burn card. It has a clip of 5 rounds and it fires explosive bullets. We're moving on to secondary weapons now, starting with the B3 Wingman, beefy revolver which has a clip size of 8 and something called a dual action fire. Not quite sure what that means. RE45 auto pistol is basically a purely close quarters gun and has a clip size of 20 rounds and moderate recoil. And the last of the handguns is the Hammond P2011 or 2011, an all-around good pistol. It has a matched trigger which allows it to be fired rapidly, and it has a clip of 12 and low recoil. The charge rifle is the first anti-Titan weapon on the list, and it can be only obtained through a burn card. It has no recoil and projects energy instead of bullets. The Sidewinder is a rapid-firing rocket launcher and has a clip of 25. Not much else to say. The Archer heavy rocket almost reminds me of the Javelin in real life because of the look and sort of like how you lock onto it and stuff, but it has a powerful projectile but a slow lock-on time, so you kind of got like even scale. And the last anti-Titan weapon is the MGL, or Magnetic Grenade Launcher. Grenades that are launched from it will be guided to a Titan if in close proximity. The Titan you are able to play as in the beta is the Atlas, one of the 3 that you will be able to play as in the official release. The Atlas is about the equivalent of the Rifleman Pilot loadout, a balanced, decently fast speed Titan. The Ogre, a bulky, heavily armored and slow-moving Titan. And lastly, the Strider, an extremely nimble, at least as nimble as a Titan can be, lighter armor, and 3 Titan dash bars compared to the Atlas's 2. Let's get right into the weapons. Kicking off the Titan's weapons list is the XO16 chain gun, a heavy bullet rifle which is apparently based off of a 20mm aircraft cannon. It has a clip of 80 rounds. The 40mm cannon is a semi-auto firing weapon that has a badass firing nose. It contains a clip of 14 rounds. The arc cannon is a directed energy weapon. If fired into a group, smaller plasma arcs radiate from the point of impact and electrocute everything. Next up is the quad rocket. It's 4 times better than a single rocket. Multiply that number by 3 since there are 12 rockets in a clip, and you get a rocket that is 12 times more awesomer. Okay, so now that we have gone over all the Titan primary weapons, we can look at the tactical abilities and kits. Like last time, I'm going to start with the pilot ones. Beginning with the cloak ability for the pilots, it allows you to stay completely invisible to grunts, specters, and titans, and partially invisible to pilots for a short period of time. The second pilot ability is called Stim, or I don't know what that would be an abbreviation of, but like stimulation, but I don't think so. It boosts movement speed and health regeneration for a short period of time. I can see this being deadly with the prosthetic legs burn card. That's it for the announced pilot tac abilities, so here are the Titan tac abilities. Electric Smoke disperses an electrified smoke charge which is very useful for getting rid of rodeo attackers. Personally, I use this one over the second one, which is the Vortex Shield. Vortex Shield halts any fire coming from the direction you're facing, and when you let go, it returns everything to sender, so that is also a very useful ability. And the final things that I'm going to list off are kits for both Titans and pilots, Tier 1 and 2. Kicking off the Tier 1 pilot kits is the Enhanced Parkour Kit. It simply increases the amount of time that you can wall run and wall hang. Our next contender is the Explosives Pack. It increases the total amount of ordnance your pilot can carry. The final Tier 1 kit is the Power Cell, which decreases the amount of time between tac ability uses. Now onto the Tier 2 kits, starting with the Dome Shield Battery, which increases the duration of the dome shield around your Titan after it is landed. The Minion Detector makes the icons between enemy grunts and pilots indiscernible. The Warp Fall Transmitter more than halves the time it takes for Titanfall, which is when you call on your Titan and it falls. It's like Titanfall, you know, good play on words. That's it for pilot kits. Now let's segue to the Titan kits. Nuclear Ejection is the Tier 1 kit that is freaking awesome. Once activated while your Titan is doomed, it launches you out of your Titan a very far vertical distance and obliterates the doomed Titan in what is probably a sub-nuclear explosion. Regen Booster regenerates your Titan body shield quicker. The final Tier 1 kit on the list is Fast Autoloader. It replenishes your Titan ordnance faster. Survivor is a Tier 2 kit which depletes your health slower while you are doomed. And the very last final thing that I'm ever going to list off in this video is the Auto Eject. It immediately auto-ejects you from your Titan as soon as it becomes doomed. It also splashes you with a little invisible paint on ejection. So that was it, everybody, my in-depth video / list of most of the items in the game. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please remember to leave a like, subscribe for more of my content, and check out my friends' channels as well. They are also excellent YouTubers and will post Titanfall content. I will see you next time.